If you love music, making playlists, and exploring genres and want to learn how to mix songs and also create your own sound, this video is perfect for you. By the end of this video, you'll be making transitions that sound like this, into transitions that sound like this. My name is DJ Jayden Blood. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and I play tech house and techno music. I want to be taking you through this today. Let's get straight into it. Today's outline, we're going to start with a beginner transition. I'm going to teach you about song structure, how to synchronize BPMs, and also how to volume control and mix. Then we're going to go into an intermediate transition, teaching you how to know better about song structure, how to even quicker BPM sync everything together, and also how to actually mix them together with their frequencies. So let's get straight into the easy transition. Alright, so song structure. What we have is firstly the beat. So the beat is what you hear in every song where it goes dun, 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 dun. It's what you're usually tapping your foot to. Think of it like a heartbeat. It's predictable and it has a rhythm to it. Then we have the tempo, which is the actual speed of the song, okay? Usually measured in beats per minute. Similar to when you record a car speed, whether it's in miles or kilometers per hour, it tells you the speed of what's happening. So let's show you a bit of a drum beat at 120 BPM. Sounds like this. Compared to 128 BPM. So they both contain drum beats, but they're a little bit different in the speed of how quick that kick's coming through. Now, if we were trying to mix them together and we overlap them, it wouldn't really sound good because one of them goes for 30 seconds, the other one goes for 32 seconds, just like this. If you tried to tap your foot to this mix, it just wouldn't work because the beats are not hitting at the same time, which makes it really awkward, which is where beat matching comes into play. So let's get into beat matching. Now, beat matching is a technique when we synchronize the kick on both songs to make sure they're overlapped and it sounds really good. So it means aligning the beats and then synchronizing the speed. Here's an example that have both of their tracks with their kicks aligned perfectly. So we're dragging it to make sure the starting kick is at the same time. Sounds alright, but all of a sudden it doesn't sound good. Why is that? The two loops start synchronized because the kick's at the same time, but because of the tempo, one's quicker, so the kick's going to come a little bit quicker, the other one's going to be a bit slower, which is where we need to beat match them and tempo match them. The easiest way to do that is either speeding up the slow song to match the quick song, or slowing the quick song to match the slow song. So what we can do here is we can then drag and stretch out the quicker song to match the slower song, just like that, and now it should sound nice and aligned. Sounds good. The only thing there though is we have to do the maths and drag the song out, which means it would have been 0.9375, and doing that for each transition just wastes a lot of time, which is where DropLab comes into play. It has AI technology that analyzes the song, gives it speed, and then can use that to synchronize and change the BPM of a song without you having to do anything. You just have to tell it what BPM you want the song to be in, and it'll do it for you. Let's have a look at it. This is 120 BPM, 126, 128, speeding up now, and it's still all synchronized. Now slowing it back down, and it's literally perfect every time. On to step number 3, which is actually mixing the songs. Now for our simple transition, we're just going to do what we call a crossfade. All that means one song is going to go from really quiet to really loud, which is our new song, and our current song will be going from really loud to really quiet just by changing the volume speeds. So it's starting loud and getting quieter, and our new song's going to start quiet and get loud. Nice and simple. All we have to do now is overlap it, and DropLab's going to sync it for us, and let's see how that sounds. And it's already done a transition. So simple. Now these are all the basics you need to know to actually mix songs together. So knowing the speed, how to beat match them, the song structure, it's pretty simple. It makes it very close to what a DJ is actually doing live, which makes it so much easier when you learn through DrumLab. In practice, songs are way more than just the drum beat, so it makes it even harder. But if you can't even align a drum beat, everything just fails, so it doesn't even matter anymore. So it's really important to nail those basics on aligning that kick and tempo. Alright, onto our intermediate transition, okay? Now, real songs aren't just going to be a kick loop over and over. They're going to have more instruments coming in to the mix as well. But that doesn't mean it's going to happen on every beat, just like our kick. So let's add an extra instrument on top to that beat and see what it sounds like. So what we can hear is still that kick coming through, but on every 4 beats we can hear our new instrument coming into the mix. So as I was saying, every 4 beats you can hear that new sound. That is what we call a bar. So a bar is when we hear 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a bar, just 4 beats. Now this is a super important thing to understand because in all of house music, EDM, techno, everything works in bars and the song structure becomes so much easier. Now going even further, let's add a piano every 16 beats. So it's either 16 beats or 4 bars. Very helpful to know, so you don't have to count 1, 2, 3, you can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 1 bar, and then just memorize those bars in the music. We call 4 bars a phrase, okay? So if you're ever going through music and maybe the chorus you'll realize is 2 phrases long, so that'd be 32 beats, or it'll be 8 bars of music. So let's have a bit of a look at our phrase example. Now we can figure out that the first phrase was the intro, so just when we had that kick, and then our second phrase is when the piano came in after 16 beats or 4 bars. So let's do a bit of a quick recap on song structure. Each song has a steady beat or a tempo, which will identify that through the BPM or the beats per minute of the song. It makes it even better when we sync our songs and be able to do those transitions over phrases and knowing those bars and beats analogies. Step 2 of our intermediate transition is our phrase mixing. So just like our beats before, when they sounded offbeat, they don't sound very nice. It's the same with phrases. Let's imagine we have a chorus coming in of your favourite song, you're singing your heart away, and then halfway through that chorus, another chorus comes in from another song, and those lyrics are happening. It's not going to sound very nice, which is where phrase mixing comes in to make sure your transitions are nice and clean. So let's look at an example when the songs are in phrase and when they're not in phrase. So this one's when they're in phrase, you can hear it, it's nice, and the piano's going to come in 2, 1. See how the in phrase, it sounds nice. But when they're not in phrase, it doesn't sound very good and there's a loss of energy, like this. And it should come in now. Notice how there's 4 beats where there was just nothing except for a drum beat. That's not what we want, it doesn't sound very good. Phrase mixing is a little bit more subtle than the beat matching because the beat matching sounds the worst if that's not happening. But when you can use phrase mixing to make sure they're nice and aligned, it's going to make your mixes sound so much better. Now our last concept is mixing frequencies. So as we learned before, when you listen to a song, you can hear different frequencies. So a kick is a very low frequency, it's very low in pitch, whereas a piano is a lot higher. Being able to manipulate these the way you want is how pro-level DJs do their mixes really smooth. What we can use is what we call a filter, which either allows certain instruments to come through and takes away others, or vice versa. What we're going to do is what we call a low-pass filter. As we filter it down, you're going to be able to see that because the piano is such a high filter and a high frequency range, when you low pass it out, it's going to get very quiet and only allow the kick to come through because it's a lower frequency. Sounds confusing, but let me show you an example. So we can hear everything, and as we start to filter, you can hear that kick coming through. That's about it. So when we're doing DJ mixes, when you can use this is we can take out certain sounds like a piano to allow the new song's instruments to come in to sound a little bit smoother rather than 2 pianos clashing at the same time. Now filters aren't perfect, like the drum beat's always going to come through a little bit, the piano's still there a little bit too, but it does make it a lot easier to mix and do what you want with the songs. Now that you know what filters are, what we actually have is different filters for different parts of the song. So that's going to manipulate the whole song, like the low pass, but now we have a low filter, we have a mid filter and a high filter. So that means taking out the bass, taking out the hi-hat or the instruments, just like that. A simple EQ in a DJ mix can make a world of changes to make it sound even more smooth. Now, instead of actually just only changing the volume of the songs like our easy transition, now what we can do is manipulate the filters to make them sound better so the songs actually blend a bit smoother together. Just as you wouldn't want a dish with too much salt and too much sweet to it, you don't really want a mix that has too much of the bass or two basses playing at the same time. But there are only general rules just to be careful about. As long as it sounds good, that's what the creative process is for. Awesome. Now that we've learnt what the filters and the frequencies do, let's add them into DropLab and let's hear an example just to see how much smoother it sounds. So we have a low and a mid filter coming in here. See how they blend a lot nicer? That's what we want. You can just hear how the songs are a lot more compatible and they sound nicer, rather than just the volumes changing. Now in this video, we've covered the most important things when it comes to mixing songs together. We've covered a little bit of music theory about the beats, bars, tempos, and phrases. We checked out how to beat match and synchronize the tempo of songs to make sure they sound in line. First by beat matching, but then with phrase mixing as well. Lastly, we talked about how we mix the songs together, starting just with crossfades of volume, but then getting into EQ and filter mixing as well. These should give you all the theoretical and simple ideas on how to mix and filter songs together to make sure they sound nice and smooth like a pro DJ would. And from now on, when you're listening to songs, I'd encourage you to think, what BPM is this? What instruments are coming through really loud? So then when you do mix it, you have a bit of an idea on what to change rather than just blindly trying to mix songs together. Do I need to slow down this song or speed up this song to make sure they match? Where does this phrase begin? Where does it end? Where should I start my transition? And what instruments should we combine together or take away to make sure that it's not clashing? I hope this video is helpful. We'll see you next time.